In this video today, Simon's going to be building an instant garden, and we thought we'd turn it into a little bit of a challenge and see if he can do it in under 1 hour.
We're going to use the bokashi solids and some river silt, some recycled cardboard, and some grass cuttings from the property.
Rocky's helping to put the weeds down now.
Oh my, he's so happy right now.
Yeah. First we're going to get the bokashi solids and we're going to lay it down the area that we want the bed to be. And for a bed, normally you want about 1.2 meters, so it's enough to like reach in from both sides without walking on it. Then we're going to bring over the same amount of the solids as river silt and mix that in, and then use the cardboard to put a layer the sun won't pass through, and that's going to kill all of this grass. The bokashi is going to break down with the dirt and these weeds that are here, and really put a lot of microorganisms into the soil. As long as we have the pieces of organic waste, if it's small enough, within 2 weeks it'll be ready to plant. If it's a little bit bigger, then we'll probably leave it for 1 month. And in 1 month, if you cover anything and block the sun, it'll kill it. So in this way we won't have to turn this dirt over and try and weed it. This is a super quick method. It's the same that we used in the small shade house and the same we used in the herb spiral, and the soil just becomes rich and black, a lot of organic matter, and will support production for a couple of years. Let's go, boy.
Okay, straight into it. Time starts now.
So we drained off about 36 litres of the fertiliser just a couple of days ago, and some more of the leachate will actually settle to the bottom now. So while we're emptying it, we can take that off. It's going to make it easier for us to deal with the solids. It smells the same as the fertiliser. It takes some getting used to, but once you're used to it, I actually quite like it.
Sick.
It must be a really fine particle, because if you get it on your hands, it takes a while to get off. Good breakfast, baby.
Gross.
Here's another 3 litres. That's like half a day's wages for a local worker.
What took you so long? You got 45 minutes, roughly.
Alright, over halfway of the solids. This is the hardest step. Now we're going to spread it out to a fairly even layer. We haven't even chopped this up. Actually, it's just exactly how we got it from the market or how it left our kitchen. It's quite a key to not to put too much of any one ingredient in. So I've noticed if you just put citrus, for example, we get a lot of orange waste from the market. It'll really degrade the fertilizer. So we want it with as many different inputs as possible. Makes it more interesting, gives a broader range of nutrients. Now we're going to go get the river silt. One of the good things about living close to a river is you get really good access to river silt, sand, rocks, So we had a truck bring a couple piles of this, and understanding the makeup of your soil is quite an important first step. For instance, we know in this property that it's about a third silt, a third sand, and a third clay. The optimum for growing supposedly is like 40%, 40 and 20 of clay. If we add more river silt and more sand, we'll have the perfect conditions for growing in terms of drainage, and we know the nutrient profile. So in this instance, if you don't have river silt, it's fine, just use the dirt you have from the property, no problem. So the other day when we took the motorbuketa out to drop the rubbish off, I saw a lot of cardboard getting thrown out. So every time I see that, I collect it, and then you take the tape off it, because that's chemical, obviously. I won't use any cardboard that's had gloss paint on it, but the decomposition process will more than take care of this non-gloss paint. So now we want to use a layer of this, which provides a block for the sun, and which will decompose, and it's also breathable.
Some good cardboard. I hate when it's like a whole bunch of tiny pieces.
Yeah. What's the time, Miss Ford? How long we got?
Let me see. 14 minutes left.
Oh, okay. So this stage just happened to have grass cut.
How convenient.
How convenient.
Always grass to be cut.
You gotta stipulate the rules, you know, if you want to bet against this guy. The other thing we pick up is there are some local barbecue places, Unticultures. Delhi, you have to try them. We recycle what they burnt as carbon, so it has ash, but it also has carbon chunks, which are amazing for bacteria. It has a massive surface area, and obviously the ash, the potash, is high in potassium, so that's just another nice nutrient to add. Normally I would put it in with the bokashi solid layer, but I forgot. This time it'll get there in the end, so I'm going to give that a sprinkle.
So are you putting another layer of straw on top of the carbon?
Because we're going to put a bacteria, the microorganisms, with the carbon layer, and this just helps protect it from the sun and the air circulation. And you want to make it so it's, try and make it square like a compost. You know, don't have it mound up so much. Now we're just going to use some of the same bokashi leachate as an activator for the materials at the top.
Ooh, the timer just went off.
Finished! Yes, sir!
Hey! Good job! Just in the nick of time.
This was an instant garden bed that we made about 3 weeks ago. As you see, it's killed the weeds underneath. It's suppressing the grass from entering in. It's going to give these, I'm trying to remember what plant this is. These tasty vegetables a really good start. So if we have a look under it, it's humid underneath. It's soft enough just for us to dig in with our hand, and you can see that was the bokashi solids, and in 3 weeks it's just broken down to organic rich soil, and that's the river silt. So pretty good. This is one that we put in 3 months ago, I believe, right, Jessica?
Yeah.
3 months ago. And if we did something we won't do again, we put rocks around the outside. It just creates something to have to edge. And instead of that, what we're going to do is we have mint put along here. We're going to put creepers that'll go into the pathway, and that'll suppress the grass from coming in. But you can see from the kale and the courgettes and the jalapenos that this garden is really thriving. And if I grab a handful of it, it's got a lot of dark organic matter in there. It's broken down really well, and it's given a good base for these plants to grow organically. We have about 7,000 square meters or 2 acres of land at the Permaculture Retreat Center, and it's a lot to do with this technique. It's too much to do with this technique, but we actually produce more than 80% of our food and much less than 20% of the land, and this is where we produce our diverse vegetables to eat every day. As our herb spiral in front of the kitchen demonstrates, you can actually get a lot of diverse production and intense production in a very small space. So this is, even if I lived in a city or if I lived in an apartment, I would use this technique to improve the soil, whether it's in the pots or in the little space you have, or raised bed above cement even would work, so that you can really pack in the veggies and just eat from that every day. And we do this, we can make salads for however many guests we have in the cabanas every day, and it doesn't put a dent in these leafy greens and the herbs. There's a trick to when you're transplanting in it to make sure that the plants that you put in aren't touching any of the grass or the mulch, otherwise they'll become too fungal. Also not touching the any uncomposed bokashi solids. So open a space for the plants and pop them in the space clear of all of that stuff. So we've got that ready today, and in 2 weeks we could plant into it. Also today we're going to start the seeds that we want to transplant into there. We're going to start them in the greenhouse. So by the time that that's ready, we can direct transplant the right plants into it.
High five! Oh, our turkeys are gonna gobble in the background because they like my voice! Garden in 1 hour, even though the preparations can take longer, and you know, gathering all the supplies and everything, of course. If you guys enjoyed this video, comment down below and let us know what you guys would like to see as far as what Simon's done on the farm, and some ideas for what also we can do that would interest you.
All right, thanks for watching.
Hit like and subscribe, and we'll see y'all in the next one. So these are onions?
These ones here, you see? Whatever the same as that is.
Yeah, but this looks like...
That one's not.
Okay, good. Take it up.
That one is, I think.
It's the same as what you just pulled out.
Is it?
Looks like grass to me.